definitely feel like some of the best brawls happen on Bind, and no exception for the first map here on this series. But in the end, Refrag to take their map of choice. Going into this, I mean, Bala, we highlighted a couple of individuals from the get-go that in past series were just explosive, that we couldn't stop talking about, and they delivered up in this series too. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all the players from YFP that we've called out before instantly turned on at the beginning of the game. But I think throughout this, as soon as Emluo gets this 1v2 in the pit, all those players kind of went a little quiet, and I think that's not going to cut it if you're YFP here. Refrag came out a lot of Emluo, but after they kind of cooled off the players from YFP, it was smooth sailing all the way almost up into the end where this little comeback happened, but for the most part it was in control.
A little bit of rough water at the end, but being able to clean it up, making it entertaining, doing it for the content. I mean, some of these comeback plays, Wyatt, were just absolutely phenomenal, but through and through, I mean, Refrag, there's a team that was ranked a little lower, but they were able to keep their cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, YFP, they are this team that just has explosivity in the firepower. Different players at different points. Specifically, it was that double sentinel duo early on that was putting them in that early lead until the clutch that Arden mentioned kind of turned the game on its head where the momentum started going in that other direction. I mean, goddamn, the first kill differential is just insane. I mean, when you see that, you're wondering how this game was even that close, to be honest. 18-5 is crazy.
I mean, because YFP, we've talked about them a lot for a reason, just not enough to get quite over that line. It's tough, too, because we got to see this. I love Melee on the Yoru. I thought it was a lot of fun. Corrupt is someone that, from the get-go, was kind of doing good with the deadlock, and faded away as soon as Refrag really started picking up the heat, and it was really fun to see. I mean, Aluvli and Emluo, we keep talking about them, Wyatt, and I mean, we just can't, I can't stop.
Yeah, it is actually Shaq and Kobe colorized, like the colorized, even though there was color television in the early 2000s, but you know what I mean. That duo is just insane. It's the two pickups that they made between Series 2 and Series 3. They're just unreal. Every single game, it's those two top fragging. In that game specifically, they were the driving force of the first kills. A Brimstone and a Viper were in total combined 10-1 on first kills to first deaths. How does it even happen? How is it even possible? That's just so ridiculous.
It's the Emluo difference, simply put. I know she tweeted about, you know, hey, like, my dad's giving me this attention. Give me attention, guys. Okay, we're gonna give you more attention because we need to keep talking about Emluo. Even when we were down in a little bit of a deficit. So yeah, we're more highlight reel. This is just the Emluo show now, guys.
We watched all the highlights of the game, and it was basically just this right here.
We're just running it back. But I mean, Bala, just the impact she's making out here, you can't not talk about her.
Oh, yeah, for sure. She's really stepping it up in this GC Series 3. I mean, so many impactful rounds, and Wyatt's absolutely right. The fact that this Viper is having such an impact early on in the rounds is ridiculous. I mean, absolutely absurd. And then on top of that, how many clutches was she part of? I think 2 1v2s, right? This level of sustainability from Emluo throughout the map, throughout the different stages of the rounds it's so crucial. I just look at these stats. It's out of this world. Really solid player. And again, you keep calling it out, like, definitely somebody who a lot of people is going to have their eyes on after this GC.
And it's a shame that people weren't really beforehand, in all honesty. Yeah, this has just been lights out so far. But even from the rest of the team, even though we've talked so much about Emluo, I mean, Bala, we have to look back at one of the earlier rounds too, with just what Refrag was doing in general, because this round 15, I mean, this was such a cool round.
Yeah, this was a really nice little approach here. In showers from YFP, you thought there was going to be this combo going through with a nade and a nets, but no, in fact, this lucky combination is not able to, is able to withstand perfectly, and there's just a perfect crossfire. And from here, the kills keep coming through, right? There's a perfect trade, but Kazler's still in sight. All this space is still owned, and as soon as you get this pick from the Outlaw onto the Cypher. You get the Viper activated, and you have nowhere to go as the final two players here, Scary Shark especially. I even love this little micro adjustment from Riv there on the back line as the Gecko moving out of lamps and coming back over to the side of truck where they can triple peek really, really nicely, all three at the same time. Really well done from Refrag there.
And that was the bonus round win, too, in the second half, where you're just getting as much momentum as you possibly can early into a half of Valorant. And I think also moments like that were displaying where the comp that YFP brought in was lackluster at times. A situation like that where you don't have the fade, for instance, that the other team had, where you can't send a Prowler to clear a corner like that easily against a shotgun player. You don't have the Sky to send in a Trailblazer to clear a corner like that. So things can get tough, right? And just having the grav net only with the nade, it's just not enough to deal with a position like that. And Refrag were able to exploit those kind of situations nicely.
I mean, now YFP, they do have an opportunity going into their map pick of the series to try and bring this back on Haven. And when we've talked about the strength that YFP had, we think back to their Haven going up against Shopify Rebellion. They had the Neon from Ursuline, but for Refrag, we actually haven't seen this with the current iteration of the roster ball, but we're sticking to nice stuff. Okay.
Yeah, solid, I think, on both sides. I'm really excited to see Marceline on the Neon, see if they can get activated really, really early like we did see in that first map. Just slowed down as time goes on. That can't happen. You need to see all the players who come out of the gate swinging continue to level up their individual play, because I think Refrag is playing some super, super solid Valorant right now.
I totally agree. Bear in mind, this is the map where YFP, they got that crazy comeback against Shopify just a couple days ago, where they were down 9-3 and then went on to win 10 rounds on attack, which is just a crazy comeback to make against the team that is already in the finals. So certainly expecting them to be on point here when we're on attack. We'll see if Refrag has what it takes to deal with Marceline, that Breach Neon duo that is just so potent. All of the stuns, so frustrating to deal with.
I mean, at this point, YFP, they've made it past Shopify Rebellion, but now in this lower bracket, they have to get past Emilio and Refrag to try and take this to a map 3 to try and send themselves to the lower finals. So it's time to head on over to Haven, back over to your casters, Vijay and Doug.
Thank you so much. A little disappointed there's no silly goober nonsense on these agent comps. It's, as Ball mentioned, it's pretty strong. It's pretty standard. And while it's not going to be as much fun as far as comps goes, I do think this will end up being strength versus strength, Trey.
Yeah, this is going to be a banger matchup. YFP have not dropped Haven since last year. And I mean, you know how many roster changes are made in GC. So they clearly have a big understanding of how to play around Haven, especially with this Neon composition. But for RF, they've actually matched up against YFP before on this map. Keep in mind, it was with Rise and not Illuvili. But it was pretty close. It was 13-10 the way of YFP in that BO1. So it's not like, you know, RF doesn't have an understanding of how YFP likes to play. It's going to be a banger.
BO1s are just so silly.
Yeah.
And it's so tough to really extrapolate much of anything from there. But into this we go. YFP on the attack. They've got the Breach your Neon setup, excuse me. And it's a slow start, actually.
Yeah. Something that's very common on this map is to deny that A-long control, especially with the Breach. Just wait it all out. They're waiting for any type of re-aggression. But it's going to be a retake in a 1-3-1 setup or the defensive side. Maybe a flood in or just a 5v5 post-plant retake scenario. It's shaping up that way, Doug. It's probably going to be the spike being planted, and it's going to be retake versus post-plant. We're seeing pings across the map. YFP need to be careful. If they blow too much utility before the drone scouts out that no one's here, oh, I was going to say they won't have anything for the post, but they have so much to work with on this post-plant, Doug. It's going to be so hard to break through.
I mean, the Breach utils all the way, even the stun is back up. They've got, you're right, they have so much here. Some of that utility has already gone through. You've got Kazler, who's already posted up in heaven with Dart out off of the dash. Millie on the swing, and it's actually Scary Shark who's patient 0, but it traded right back. Again, this pistol going back and forth. Kazler still standing strong, 2 on the round, and it's all on to Corrupt now. A classic 70 HP on the swing, overwhelmed. Illuvili messing with him. That's a tough way to go. And that's a pistol for refrag.
Yeah, my goodness, refrag. What is that? They bigoted out 3 sets of utility so early on with just a fault line and probably something else that I couldn't see. It was so crazy on the actual site. But nevertheless, baiting out that set utility that YFP wanted to fight with on that first layer and then going for the actual retake. It was Kazler who ended up jumping up heaven at the perfect timing to kill everybody in Graffiti and just clear out all of sight. Also, you got to give a big shout out to Millie, who in the face of 2 players in hell still yoinked one. Went 1 for 1 there. So the retake was super well coordinated from RF, and YFP, I don't know, doing a little bit too much utility on that initial layer.
Yeah,
Mluo is out of this world today. I swear, not even today, this whole tournament.
That's true. The Bulldog at that distance, though, it's just tough. And you just saw the extremity of the game in those back-to-back kills. You've got the Bulldog from one of the longest angles on the entire game, and then you've got the Judge up close and personal.
And then you got the Outlaw, front B. I mean, what do you do? There's so many different looks that RF are showing right now to YFP. So many things to be wary of going into your first gun round. Like, what are you going to do? What kind of plan do you want to make now? Because you have to worry about where the Outlaw and the Jet's going to be. You have to worry about clearing out A short or garage again because of that Judge. I mean, you're really limited on possibilities here. You kind of are going to have to default A long or C long if you want to play to your gun advantage.
Standing ahead.
You wonder here what utility they have to clear some of those angles to deal with the fact that there's a Judge waiting around. You've got the drone, you've got the dart, and that'll help some. And then you've got the breach stun. But I mean, they have a couple things. But the thing is, all of the other ones, other than the Solo, require you putting your body on the line.
Exactly.
In order to deal with it. And again, when it's a Judge on the other side, that's tough.
Yeah, I guess you have to pray that Marceline will slide past the Judge and hope that she doesn't get picked off in that moment. Maybe
okay.
I don't think you're going to be able to slide away from Alubili's Judge with what we just seen. Apparently that thing could shoot from default to A long, but, that gun's balanced. Notice the follow-up utility, though, as well. The breach stun coming out from Rib off the contact of Alubili in garage. Had there been more members following it up. So there's a lot to be worried about right now if you're YFP, especially with the way that RF has been playing as a cohesive unit today.
A Guardian and then 4 Vandals. Still the Judge. And it's a setup. Try to get the Outlaw on this deep angle and connects.
Jeez.
Nicely done.
Yeah, and one of the players that just so happened to have light armor and now you have full info as well.
A little bit of trap there in garage. And now the trip is going to catch the spam through. Mluo continues to be a problem. A massive one at that. Kind of gets caught there trying to trade weapons in an awkward spot. And Scary Shark and Melee punch right back. A 2v2 now. Scary Shark weak. 22 HP. Melee trying to hold the line. Melee on the swing. Gets a kill. Traded again. And this Judge, not quite what you're looking for, but choosing not to switch weapons here. Going with the Sheriff.
Just wants the enemy of doubt to play in the mind of Melia at this very moment. That paranoia is going to be perfect. Oh,
but the
settle!
Lawrence! That's tough. That's real tough.
That's tough to bounce back from as well. You had that. The outplay was there. You could have even used the Judge from that distance. What a rough way to lose your bonus. That would have been such a good start for RF. With Melia coming up clutch, just playing the AD strafes while full blinded. Oh man, if you're Aluvili, you got to bounce back from that. You cannot let that linger in your head. You're still in this. You're up a map as well. It happens. It's Valorant.
Yeah, those stick with you though.
Just can't be rash in moments like this.
Short-term memory is the best bet. Little jump spot off of the stun. What a cool setup. That took a little while, and still probably shouldn't have netted in a kill, but that was such a cool setup. Off the jump spot, you had the stun, and then you had the neon there too. Emlo snappy onto elaborate the swing onto the second, and it's Riv over the top helping things out. Meanwhile, the spike planted out towards C. Corrupt trying to keep them back at arm's length.
Last player standing.
Trying to rejoin with teammates. A dart in the face, and really going to be able to clear that one out. Meanwhile, that's cleared out. Pap going to bait out the ult. There's still plenty of time on this. Yeah, that was a miserable spot for Corrupt to be in.
Yeah, so even though YFP clutched out that previous round, the following does go to RF, and it was just good team play from the start. You said it. That setup in Garage was awesome, honestly. And yeah, Luvely can't quite connect on those shots. That Omen smoke kind of getting in her way. But the trade from Riv, who secures 4 into the round, closing it out, just running down Corrupt, who decided to pop that Soul Vault. That's a big round to win and a big ultimate that was not converted into a round win for YFP themselves. And the ult economy right now for Refrag has been awesome. They've done such a good job on this map already, and even the last map, of getting a lot of those ultimates online at the same time. Allows you to combo different ultimates together on important gun rounds. Ideal scenario here is, you just obviously win the eco cleanly, as you can, but get that Sova ultimate online, get the Breach ultimate online. You don't really need jet knives at this stage of the game, but why not? Some cool set plays that RF probably have in the bag with that Breach.
Any sort of advantage. Yeah. Deal with this drone. That's already position already given away. That's 3 rough kills back to back to back for Luvely, if I'm not mistaken. Kazler stunned, blinded, flashed, dead. Not even really allowed to play the game.
I think a little bit of nerves now on the side of Luvely. Maybe a timeout needed for RF just to get their teammate back into the game. Positioning as very decent so far, but the retake is coming through right now.
That should not have gone that way at all. And it all it all started off of the space that they were able to take up towards short, getting the best of Luvely, really kind of set that whole thing in motion.
Yeah, she's just been in her own head right now, rent free. Last 3 rounds in a row. And it's tough as a player. I mean, you can't stop thinking about, the mistake you made and how important, the moment is. The gravitas of the moment can really get to you at times like this. You don't want to be that one person that feels like you're letting your team down.
There are the blades. There's the updraft. Finally landing the shot, dashing forward. I don't know that was the plan. But hey, Millie got hers.
Yeah, a little bit of vintage sneak play right there. At least she was able to get one, though.
Yeah. Not theirs. Fair about. Much more than that, though. It really was just that knife kill. Emlu was very far away from the play, kept at bay by the trip. Now a couple of shots to the hip from Melia, and that's the round. We're tied up.
I mean, decent damage done, but the economy of YFP after winning that eco round, it's just flourishing right now. You got so much money in the bank. You could afford to go for a couple more rounds. And now your ults are getting online as well. I mean, you almost have all 5 ults available for you on the attacking side. So much to work with, so much to do. On the opposite end, you have Riv sitting at a Bulldog. Emluo sitting at light armor, less than ideal. Only 1 trip in play as well. And a change of pace for YFP. Getting that last ultimate online at C-Long. Everybody else freezing, holding a default. But there's mid-aggression right now from the defensive side of Luvely.
I like this position.
Gotta get out of here.
Yeah, after that cam. Yep.
That one little mid-push baited out a camera, baited out the Sova drone. So yeah, nothing was netted in terms of, fragging department, but he's got so much utility out.
Oh, the sun. Where's the sun? Up from Riv. Where's the sun? Up from Riv. It seemed like it was a little bit late. The kill comes through, though. It's a 1-for-1, and now the Rolling Thunder will pave the way for an empty site. Corrupt popping their ult as well. The spike should go down. Traded right back to it, trying to dash out, trying to stay alive. Marceline's already dead. Castle repositioned, flashed up, and stunned. A 4v2 the way of refrag. 8 bullets left for Corrupt. It doesn't matter. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Insane. A great round from refrag here. All because of that mid push, baiting out that Sova drone and that Cypher camera early on. So when the actual A hit comes through, you don't have that extra set of utility. And honestly, Kazler only sitting at 4 kills, but the impact she's had has been immense. I mean, that Sova got 2 players tagged, one being the breach, one being the enemy Sova. Made it so, you know, all you have to do is tickle the opponent to take them out.
Yeah.
And something I want to point out here is the last time these two teams faced, yes, it was a BO1. There's not much you can extrapolate from that. But RF on the defensive side were up 8-4 and still lost out the map. So YFP on the defensive side, that's really where they shine. And right now, YFP, they're feeling like they're in a good spot, even though Melia just gets taken out right away by Mluo.
They're still going to get a lot of space out on the site here, too. Even that late smoke that's coming through from Luli, they're already past it. Mluo is the only one in a real position to do something about it. Really nice pathing to stay alive and avoid a lot of that danger from heaven. Waiting for the dart. You know it's coming off the paranoia. The dash out into the smoke. Corrupt's already dead. Millie able to settle. Got the best of Scary Shark. That's a deep flash. Do they know? They're going to know now. Yep. If there was doubt before, it's been confirmed. Elaborate's going to have to 1v4 with the spike defuse happening right in front of their face.
It's just so tough to win a post plant on that site without Omen smokes up. You have to worry about so many different angles, and then you're getting isolated as well because the enemy Omen is still alive and the paranoia is still in play. It's a very, very tough task in order to win that one. It kind of makes you feel like you have to play up, feel like you have to play in sight, try to take those deep peeks into CT. But the pacing on the retake this time around for RF, they understood the window of opportunity that they had. There was no fault line to be used from Nora in that situation. I think it was, what, like on an 8-second cooldown. So had they stalled in CT and waited, you know, and gotten even more situated, maybe then YFP would have had a better chance. But understanding, you know, the win con and understanding that, okay, we need to go now while those rechargeables are down, while we have our own Omen smokes up, that's what made that retake look so easy.
This timeout coming through gives you all a chance to call me up and give you a recap of how things have gone in case the timeline wasn't telling you enough as it was. It's been very swingy. I mean, again, the pistol and then the following round goes as expected. The bonus just narrowly doesn't go their way, but even in the face of that, Refrag have been able to stay competitive. They've been able to keep up with this lead, winning 2 rounds in a row, having plenty of money to go around here too. And yeah, the ults aren't necessarily hitting, given what we saw as far as some of the investments go, but Dre, Refrag are in a great spot here.
Yeah, they're all things considered, they are, because this could have been like, I don't know, they might have only lost 1 round legitimately.
Yeah.
Based off of that eco round they lost, right? So had they had won the bonus, which honestly they probably should have, had they had won the eco,
right.
I guess who knows, you know, eco rounds are you know, RNG at times, but they could have an even more bigger of a lead than they have now. So the fact that they're still staying into this, and you know, Aluvli has been able to bounce back, it's good signs for RF right now. And Emlu,
holy
not
smokes,
good signs for her.
No, they had that read like a book, man. They knew exactly where Emlu was going to be playing. As soon as the trip cleared, you saw 2 guns snap towards heaven.
And we've seen this lurk from Elaborate from the pistol round as well, I believe.
Oh, but it's going to work, isn't it? Oh, it's not.
How do they know?
I don't know, but it seemed like they were going to get away with so much. The dash up top, not going to connect either. Rave's also dead. YFP, I mean, on the other side of that timeout, they fixed a lot. And honestly, I saw on the other side of the timeout, they head back towards A, and I thought, oh, well, they're not changing much, Dre.
But they understood that the contact approach on that A site when they run into no enemies fighting them, no fault line, nothing there, they understand, okay, it's probably likely this is a retake setup. And where has Emluo been playing most of the time? She's been playing in Heaven, and she's been netting a lot of kills from Heaven as well. So this time, just fully posted, multiple rifles on the board. It was just too easy, a very hard read, and now that's why you're seeing a change of setup from RF themselves. Emluo this time playing in that short cubby.
Back towards A. Similar look.
Watching
Got
here.
Elaborate, who's making sure there's no push towards mid. The deep cam. This time, there isn't really much back from refrag. I mean, you've got a fault line setup depending on where the pressure is felt.
You're so worried. You don't want to give that first blood out. Trying to make it a mystery for YFP if they're going to run into a stack or not, but the Cypher has been found out.
Scanning ahead.
Chips are starting to break, and the execute is starting to come through.
They've got a couple of members trapped in short. The stun coming through as well.
Oh, perfect stun.
That's nice for Millie out, though. Only one found, though. These sheriffs, again, continue to be a problem. They've got numbers. They've got a weapon upgrade, too. Make that two. Melly up in Heaven. It's going to be another thrifty round. Unless Elaborate can do something about this. But I don't know how Elaborate does.
I mean, it would take some incredible finesse at this moment. Oh, some pre-fires coming through. But no, it's just too much. Too many members geared up and looking towards you. That flood in from refrag through CT. Yeah, that's only sheriffs, but when there's 3 of them, it's a firing range for them, and they can take you out like so. And that's just the never-ending battle of Haven when you default towards A. You feel like you have enough utility to really deal with the flood, but you don't. And right here from Millie, the fact that she was able to net that kill onto the Neon of Marceline, it bought enough time for the remaining cast of RF to flood in. Elaborate was just stuck outside of short that entire time.
Back on guns for YFP. Ult in the hands of Corrupt.
Take flight.
And this time, a little bit of mid attention. We haven't seen this before, Dre.
Yeah, it's the first look, front B, and everything is just so explosive with the contact style. Hit's about to come through. Riv, his fault line's going to connect. Oh, no fault line. It's a flash. And Riv gets ahead of it in that neon wall, Doug.
So well played. You look at that and you go, I mean, Riv is dead. There's nowhere to go. So I want to go back to some of how we've seen this series play out so far, because I think there's a notable difference. When you think about how things have gone, it's been RF who have had to put up like a catalyst punch back, right? Yeah. It seems like YP are running away with it, and RF have been the ones who have had to respond. This map has not felt that way at all, Dre. It has felt like YFP are the ones on the back foot, and they're not the ones who can't get anything going.
Exactly. RF are taking their timings on these fights very well, and they're doing it as a team with utility. I mean, this time around, Riv steps in front of the neon wall, but honestly, most of the time, teams use neon. There's no one actually holding the wall for the neon, so you could get ahead of it, especially on that timing with your Omen Smoke front B. That's the main problem that I would have a lot when I was playing previously on that neon. It was so annoying having to deal with players swinging into the wall. Almost felt like it was impossible to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Hop in the hands of Millie. Discipline out. So use the drone, clear out the way. Oh, got a tag as well. I mean, it's hard to find a jet dashing away. What?
How?
Onto the neon?
I don't know how that just happened.
Unbelievable. Hopefully we see that again. That's ridiculous, and it seems like there might be a thrifty the other way. Couple of stingers. This map just continues. I mean, this series just continues to give.
It's so insane, Doug. It almost feels like it shouldn't be happening, but at the same time, you can't discredit the amount of mechanical skill that is required in order to pull it off in the first place. Yeah, Kazler left alone in a 1v3 facing a breach ult. I want to see that shot from Millie's POV onto Marceline. I mean, I know that YFP win that round, but this shot was ridiculous. Full blind? What?
There's no way.
I mean, in the face of all that utility, it's insane. Also, super unfortunate positioning right there for Emluo, who just happened to be in the dash path of Millie. That's why she gets taken out by that Hunter's Fury. Sometimes it just be your own that do it to you, Doug. Sometimes it just be your own fam.
You think you know a guy?
Right?
Unreal. Into the second half we go. Refrag with the 2-round lead. And there was a little bit of spark that YFP showed to close out that half. A round that you wouldn't expect to have gone their way.
Right here.
But it did.
Standing ahead.
This is where YFP shines. It's this defensive side. They pop off. Absolutely nuclear on the retakes. Is going to be gathered towards A short right now with that drone being used by Corrupt. Bolton mid. Maybe Emluo wants to break that garage cam, but instead it's going to be lurk front B. She's got a lot to worry about right now. This is going to be a very tough entry here. Scary Shark holding a stun out as well. Everything off of contact right now for the defensive side. Marceline jumping the gun a little too early, giving a lot of info into Emluo. Both players
got the fault
hit by this fault line, Doug.
Yeah, maybe Corrupt doesn't, but with the reposition there, it's going to get way more difficult. Scary Shark's able to get the first, traded right back though, and now you see the pistols all in tandem, funneling out towards A.
30 seconds left.
And that lurk front B as well, keeping multiple members there, so there is no flood right now. It's going to have to be a set retake versus post plant.
This is a really nice position out for Marceline. Well, never mind, position now given away. The stun's going to help. It will buy some time. Get a little bit of damage dealt. Melia down to 20 HP, left alone and cleaned up. A big pistol needed because, Dre, you mentioned it. YFP thrive on this defensive side of Haven. You get that pistol away, and all of a sudden, we're tied at 7s.
Yeah, and if you don't get ecoed here, Doug, there's a chance that you could snowball this lead and put yourself in a spot like you did on the last map where you have a big buffer to accumulate a lot of ults together and string around like that. If RF can win this round, you're sitting at 9. If you cook something up for the bonus, maybe you get Kazler's Sova ultimate all 9. Anything is possible. You can really run away with this one.
Yeah, there wasn't much on the other side, but that was well done.
I like it from YFP, though. I like that they're not shying away from what has netted them a lot of success in the past. Going for these aggressive plays with the Breach Neon combo. It's something that you still have to keep doing no matter how the game is going, no matter what the score is. It's just so quiet across the map right now. Just now, YFP trying to get some info, but the A effect has already come through.
I thought there may have been a window there for Melia.
Yeah, at least one, right?
Yeah, gave it a good run. But tough indeed. So the spike gets planted. We'll see what kind of weapons they carry over. A Bulldog, 2 Bulldogs, and then Spectres. Unless YFP can do something to try to remove some of these weapons out of their hands.
It's not looking too good, Doug.
No.
It's not looking too good. And they're feeding ult orbs as well. But no one on RF is really close enough to have it matter going into the bonus round, so shouldn't be too bad of a detriment. But still, having all 5 guns alive for RF, they can cook something up here. And when you look at the economy on the other side, it was a big investment of sheriffs and shorties. You have so many players on light armor right now. Those Spectres, the Bulldogs, they all shred in moments like this.
Remember here, too, in the first half, they had an attempt at a bonus, and it was so close to converting, and they couldn't get it over the finish line. Will we see some of that again here?
All depends on if YFP can get an early first blood or not towards this A. RF are not playing into their hand. A little bit too ahead of the pack was Millie there. Not even a single ounce of supporting utility, not even a flash to take that garage space. You're going to have to contact elsewhere, though. That's why Emluo Walking up C long. Should have heard that jump spot.
Here.
Definitely hears it now. Maybe a fault line to come out or a double swing.
You even saw the pings on the minimap as soon as that last one came through.
There
Elaborate tagged up. Starting to drop some of the cages to provide some cover. There's still a trip on the other side too. If they try to conceal it, Elaborate, nicely done. A second, meanwhile, a second kill with the judge from Elia.
A little taste of RF's own medicine. Elaborate. I have to shout, that jump cage that was thrown from back sight. It was near perfect. Almost like a lineup jump throw. And basically made it so Emluo just couldn't see anything coming out of that choke. Worried about that trip. Turning from their own teammate's flash as well. Maybe thinking it was the enemy team.
Fully blind. You're right. He couldn't see anything at all. It's like trying to use Discord on light mode. Like, it's just, you can't see a thing.
You know, there's some people that actually do that, Doug. You know that, right?
Don't get me started. Yeah. Don't get me started. 3 rounds separating these two squads. Stun, but Marceline able to get past. The question is, do they know?
Tell you one thing right now, YFP definitely knows there's tons of players for it to long.
Nothing found. Nothing found at all. Marceline digs their heels in, trying to hold the line, knowing there was a fight on the other side of the smoke.
Side smoke does come out though for Scary Shark, who runs through the smoke. Riv, quick to clean up, quick to get the second on Elaborate. And that's a full A site in effect right now for RF.
Good luck with this.
Yeah, just save the weapon at this point. That's what feels bad. You knew. You had all the info. You heard all the footsteps.
Yeah.
But the pace, the power of the jet updrafting to get all the info on where Marceline was playing. Yeah, Corrupt was able to get one to scavenge. But there's just too many bodies to deal with when you have a Guardian in that moment. Honestly, it would have been better to have a judge. Like... Super unfortunate.
Shadows traveling. Shadows traveling.
Off of that, refrag will get to 10. And the window of opportunity for YFP to get back into this is getting smaller and smaller. I think, if I'm honest with you, in the back of my head, I always kind of expected this would go to 3 maps. And I always kind of expected YFP would win this one out. But the probability of that just keeps getting smaller and smaller.
Yes, this should do.
And again, this is a map that YFP haven't dropped since last year, Doug.
Yeah, that's tough.
You've been so dominant on it. Beating Shopify, beating FlyQuest on multiple different compositions.
But given how this is on, like, Knock Knock, who's there? It's refrag.
Yeah.
And they're just, they're just doing whatever they want here. This is a really nice spot for Marceline. Again, an aggressive line, an aggressive position. No success found in the previous round, but this time at least one. But then they're done.
I mean, look at the spacing of refrag right now. The trades are instantaneous, it feels like. They're swinging together and everything, but now they're all corralled at A. If this rotate doesn't come in on time for YFP, this is going to be bad.
I don't know how it's going to come on time, man. It's got to be Scare Shark and Corrupt holding the line by themselves. Now Elaborate has arrived, and Emlo was playing in the smoke the entire time. The micro decision there to wait half a second before clearing the smoke and fighting back sight might have just won them this game.
Yeah, and then to walk out as well around that timing when Aluvli was going to grab the spike to get the kill on the player that was walking out back sight. There were so many things done well right there from Emluo. She played both smokes to perfection. The in and out on both ends. That causes YFP to take a timeout. But look at the ults, Doug. Look at the ults for RF right now.
It's a mess.
I mean, tournaments like this is why I love Valorant so much as a game. It's just so entertaining. You have the underdog story of RF making this crazy run. Like potentially taking out YFP on a map they haven't dropped in so long. Can't make it up.
Nope. YFP have to make up a plan here, though. I mean, they have to. And the problem is, though, Dre, I don't know what adjustments can be made. Like, they're trying to get these aggressive lines. They're trying to put Marceline in a position to make a play. They're trying to put tools in the hands of their shooters to convert, but it's not working.
Yep. The main problem is, Doug, is there's no follow-up. There's no one to help Marceline when she's in these spots. I mean, one of the times it was Corrupt, but I think there just needs to be an extra body on the battlefield. Maybe an Omen Flash, Paranoia, someone that can get really in the mix. Because as a Sova, you don't want to be the one that's really taking the forefront there. You have so much good utility that needs to be used in the mid-round.
Revealing area. Found them.
They've got Marceline's ult. What can they do with this? Corrupt's not going to be around to see it happen. There's the ult popped. The flash through, nothing connecting yet. Now pushing forward, 1 kill found. Aluvely falls at the hands of the finger guns.
There it is. There's that extra body I was mentioning about, Doug.
But even this, even that, Dre, like, Refrag just rotate away.
Yeah.
They decide they don't want to deal with the fight. They could just wait this out.
Thing is, it was the smokes player taken out, so any site exec from this point forward will be a little bit tough. And this is all a distraction. Riv is just a body bag, just trying to bait the rotations, keeping 3 members here. RF are calling this round to perfection right now, Doug. And Melia, she's going to have to come up huge, but she's going to be found out.
Paranoia's nice. It'll buy some time. Melia buying a little bit of smoke. Trying to reposition. What? Melia getting 2 there is nuts.
30 seconds left.
It's all because of Marceline with that neon stun. That was such a good time and a place for the neon stun to come out and help the anchor. YFP are still in this thing, man.
They still have a long way to go, though, to get back into this, but I guess. There's a lot to go, though, Dre.
It does feel like a bit of an uphill battle, to say the least. But that neon stun, I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect.
Yeah. It couldn't have been better.
And to not stun your own teammate at the same time.
Which is really hard to do.
That's I don't know how that didn't even happen. Like, was it a lineup? Like, how? Such a well-placed stun from Marceline. Still, so much to work with if you're RF, and this time it's going to be a B approach. Site is for free.
I like this.
Oh,
Tap
nice
the
bait.
spike towards B. Yep, draw out any utility. They did get the Paranoia out from Melia, and now they can go elsewhere.
The problem here is, though, they are running into this over-rotate of a stack that YFP is putting through. But it doesn't matter because Emluo gets a lurk kill into front B. Initiator utility gone. No flashes now.
I think there are 2 things going on here. It isn't just that they got the Rolling Thunder out, but there was no... I'm sorry, that the breach dies B, but nobody got hit by that ult, so there wasn't even the opportunity to crunch in Garage.
No follow-up whatsoever. You're 100% correct. With that dart not clearing anything A long, it seeps doubt in the minds of YFP, but the hit is here. Marceline is going to be the only one to get here in time to support Corrupt.
This is going to hurt.
Retake.
Wait, the ult instantly cancels back out. So Melia doesn't fully stick it. Perhaps it doesn't matter now.
What a 1v1. I just can't make it up with Emluo. Wait a second, bud.
Marceline trying to put the team on their back. Elaborate. Trying to carry some of the load. A 3v2 still. A dash away. And a wall up to buy some cover. To buy some time off the Paranoia. There's still a shot at this. Kazler has ult, but it's way too close. And they've been caught. They've been found out. Position given away.
Sova ultimate.
Trying to reposition for the ult. You're absolutely right. You've got to win this fight. And cannot. Is there going to be enough time? Can you buy enough time? They understand there's pressure coming. A dart is all it is. Marceline on the swing, trying to stay alive. Elaborate's going to get the defuse. YFP gets to 8.
Oh my gosh, YFP. They're doing it, Doug. They're slowly coming back. And it's not easy. It's not going to be easy if they want to make it happen. But if they can keep grinding these rounds out, there's a chance that they can bring it within 2 rounds. Right here.
And it has to be diligence from top to bottom, round after round. Keep your book straight. Don't do anything dumb. Don't get audited. Like, handle everything perfectly, because that's the only way you're going to get back into this. One slip up and you're cooked.
Oh my goodness. I just can't believe it. Marceline came up huge. Now the economy has finally been broken for RF. This time, maybe trying to actually commit into the B site. But Melia with the spam.
You cannot get thrifted here. You cannot get thrifted here.
Disastrous.
What a mess that would be. Melia's upgraded weapon. No armor to play with, though. They're going to try to get out on C, but Elaborate's ahead of this. Big kill if they can convert. Hazard's been spotted. And again, the wall's closing in. The spike now hitting the ground. And Elaborate should put any sort of threat out of this round. That's exactly what they do. YFP got to 9.
They dealt with that B pressure very well the last 2 rounds. This time actually getting some kills in the mix. A little bit of spam. Melia jumping the gun a little bit too early here, but that Sobel ultimate prevailing in the end. And Elaborate had some really big moments here on site with a lot to deal with, honestly. You had to deal with garage window, front garage, a wrap from CT. But isolating the 1v1s the way that she wanted to made it look easy. I'm not sure if RF are aware that there is an operator in place, though. Marceline did not really show anything in that last round.
Yeah, I don't think so. And there's going to be action. They've taken the short line. Hazard's going to be close. There's nowhere to go. As soon as the drone goes off, they know where they are.
And playing at a deficit like this, it's awesome to see that your duelist is still willing to take those type of risks, those type of peaks, because it was the right play indeed.
Yeah.
A lot of times duelists, they can get in their head in moments like this when it's so close. You don't want to make the mistake. You don't want to overpeak, especially when you're using that operator. Sometimes just wait for them to walk into your crosshair, right? But most of the time, the most impactful duelists are the ones that force the plays themselves. And having no Sova on the field now for the attacking side makes it so hard to pick where you want to go. They're picking right, Doug.
At least they're trying to throw a little bit of misdirection. I don't think this was ever an intent to go B. A clear the dart to force rotations out from the defense. But they're going to end back C. And
yeah, it's not going to work in their favor, though, because the C pressure game.
Exactly.
30 seconds left.
Melia's here. Elaborate's here. And there's no way they know that. There's no way they know that. Now they know. That was a dink. But it got traded back. What a shot from Luli. Melia, though, the second trap off of the paranoia, only tagging on to one. Can Eludely do it again? With a little bit of help from Riv, who's joined up. Millie's now dead. That's not going to help, but Riv's gotten 2. 2 more to be found off of the flash. Patience on the swing. 2 targets, none found. Marceline gets 3. YFP get another.
Op saved into the next round as well. YFP have brought this within 1 round. The economy of RF, it's really worse for wear right now. There's a chance to tie it up. There's a chance to take the lead. You feel the momentum shift. RF need to call a timeout right now. They need to figure out what's been going wrong for them. There's been a lot of space control gain from YFP on this defensive side. That push down C long was the perfect call.
How quickly things can change. 3 minutes. I mean, 3 minutes ago, we were talking about RF at 11-7, and you know, what are they going to do? How are they going to get back into this? If you're YFP, and everything's changed, and now we've gone back to the plot that has been this entire series. RF need to find a way to respond.
And they're forcing into this round, too. A lot of light armor. It's a walk down mid right now for Marceline.
And there's nothing to ensure that that's not happening. There's no cam, there's no drone, there's nothing.
Smoke top C should give the confidence of RF to slowly creep up and pop from within the smoke. Here comes the 3-2-1s across the board.
Flash, dash. Everything invested. The problem with this is YFP are going to have everything to fight back. A lot of utility was just dumped out onto this site. Patience there out from Kazler. Very nicely done. Repositioning, knowing the second shark was on the way. Is there going to be a smoke for them to be able to cross back out and go towards long? Or do they try to fight? Do they try to hold here? The Neon ult has been popped. It's a stun. It's a delay. Millie was left. A sacrificial lamb to try to get any kills, and one was found. But now all attention, all eyes, all crosshairs towards long. They've got to find a way to make a short attempt at this. The Scary Shark is just going to stick it the whole way, but it got stopped. Halfway done, though. Elaborate has to do it on their own. A 1v1. Can Elaborate stick it? Can Elaborate stick it? Yes! Unbelievable! The Red Bull clutch! We're tied!
My gosh, Aluvali just shuffling guns, trying to find a weapon with ammo to get that spam. With the half from Scary Shark. It was absolutely perfect. It was immaculate. It's just like that. It's the timeout now for refrag. How is this happening? How are we tied up? So many of these retakes have gone the way of YFP. Their defensive side, Doug. Look at that timeline. 3 defuses in the last 5 rounds.
I would love, and I don't think we're going to be able to do it, but I would love to see Aluvali's POV there. I don't know if that's possible. It might not be at this late of an ass, but
yeah, she was definitely shuffling around trying to find any type of gun that had ammo in it. Everyone was spamming the spike at that moment. Oh my gosh. What a complete swing of emotions. It really felt like YFP were down and out. And it really was Marceline on that retake previously, that first string of rounds that they were able to accumulate. Getting 2 in a 5v3 scenario.
Caution here. Right here.
Bringing their team all the way back into it. The op wasn't gained in that round, but it's not really going to matter considering the firepower you're going up against here. It should be a match point unless Millie has something to say about it.
Aluvali doesn't. Not this time. And Millie was only able to get 1. Again, the Sheriffs causing a little bit of trouble. It's all on Emlo now. A 1v3 with the Sheriff.
I have retrieved the spike.
Fake TP. And they took the bait. YFP gets a map point. I can't believe this.
That A fight. One of the first times we've seen the Omen here towards the A site as well. Paranoia can be so useful from that spot. It's what I was mentioning earlier, the change that I thought that YFP should have made. They finally do it. It's such a crucial moment to put them on match point. And if you're RF right now, you're like, how is this happening again? It's always so close between these two teams on Haven. I guess history might repeat itself. 4 members, Doug, of YFP at this A site. Not a singular doubt in their mind.
Gotta convert here. Oh, no. How did those two keep this back on their own?
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
What's the response? What do Refrag do here? They still have members up. They still have a chance at this fight. But a re-hit towards A?
Yeah, is anybody going to clear Scary Shark? These close corners. I'm in the middle of a fight, but of course Amluo doesn't hit the shot this time. How?
That's the dagger. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the dagger. YFP take Haven with the ridiculous comeback. 13-11 to take us to Abyss. I have lost my mind.
My mind has been lost since that comeback started, Doug. The 5v3 to make the comeback. Marceline coming up clutch. Huge. When it just looked like it was just done. It was going to be match point for YFP. Oh my gosh.
Fortunately, for those of you who are watching at home, you've been gifted with another map. The first 2 have been exceptional. The third should be the exact same. Abyss on the cards to close out this series. We'll see you guys soon.